Crappy Honda days, everybody. Even if you're a Toyota-thon family, crappy Honda days because the Bruins lose 3-2 against the Minnesota Wild, bringing us to a 4-game losing streak, and if I'm not mistaken, losing 6 of our last 7. Someone please correct me if I'm wrong on that one. Losing 6 of our last 7 to steamroll to freaking Columbus steamroll ourselves into the holiday break. Welcome back into the den. Man, this game had such high hopes. You know, we score less than 2 minutes in. Lauco is finding his physical side. Lauco is no longer Lauco is making the Lauco is graduating from nephew to uncle. He's finally except instead of following Uncle Roger, he's following Uncle Nick. That first period had a lot of really good moments. I thought that for the most part we were outplaying the Wild. And then the second period happened. Quick aside, this is probably going to be a quick one. I am drunk. I am tired. I am a little bit pissed off at this game. And I know that usually amounts to a pretty good game. That usually amounts to a pretty good episode. But also consider the fact that I was spending like the first two periods of this at a bar. So my analysis is a little bit shaky. Second period. Carlo, look, man. We gotta have a talk. I know. If you look at the defensive analytics, you are a pretty good defenseman. Don't fucking score on your own net. Oh my god, this was frustrating. This was annoying. Carlo errantly just is getting his stick in the mix and just swatting the puck into our own net behind Allmark. Fantastic. I love this. And then afterwards, it's just like a controlled demolition. Like, where is the urgency? Where is the drive? Where is the hunger? I was talking with my dad about this. Like, yes, Bergeron and Krejci, fantastic players. You cannot take anything away from those two. You cannot take any of their accomplishments away from them. Did they really have such a monumental effect on the way that this team operates that without them, the entire flow of our offense is exposed like this? I also want to know what's up with the defense. Like, the only big defensive loss that we suffered this offseason. Connor Clifton. That's it. It's freaking Connor Clifton. What is the issue? What is your major malfunction in private? And I was talking about Carlo. Mitchell. Ian frickin' Mitchell. You, my friend, are on very, very, very thin ice. And I really want you to understand that you are on thin ice with this fan base. Yes. Taking stupid ass penalties, making bad plays, showing no urgency. What is wrong with you? Again, what is your major malfunction, Private? Excuse me, I gotta sneeze. Or do I? Frick. See, just like this team, we can never decide whether we want to actually explode or just completely implode. The way the first period went, it looked like we wanted to explode. And then afterwards, we let 2 goals in less than in a minute and a half. And it's like we can't get out of our own way. We can't generate offense. We can't string a pass together. My dad and I are joking about with Alex Faust and in the booth. Which, by the way, Alex Faust, fantastic job at calling this game. Fantastic job at calling the past 2 games. Like, if Jack is done at the end of this game, hire Alex Faust on the spot. This dude, amazing. He doesn't have all the Jackisms, and that's the main thing that my dad and I were talking about at the bar, was that I wonder if we're gonna be hearing tape to tape tonight. Well, that depends on whether or not the Bruins can actually freaking string a pass together. The answer's no. The Bruins could not string a pass together after the second goal, and then we get to the third period, where I'm back home and I am tired. Yeah, I'm tired. I just got over being sick, but I did still take a Benadryl earlier today, so I was knocked out for like half the daylight. It sucked. I really don't like being sick, and I really don't like having being out for that long. But we get to the third period, and I'm frustrated with the Bruins. And what do? They allow Marcus Foligno to score. They allow Marcus Foligno because Carlo's just getting his lunch eaten. Carlo is just getting his lunch eaten. He is just he is a 6'5" tree. He hurts when you run into him, but that requires you to actually run into him. Because what Marcus Foligno does is he just cuts to the inside and just reaches around on Carlo and taps it in. Which is frustrating, because this entire season, we have had problems with allowing offenses to cut to the inside, and I know net front defense is not our strong suit this season. It needs to be better. I don't care. It needs to be better. It needs to be better than this. Yes, we can't. I was frustrated when Lindholm allowed McTavish like 7 games into the season. I was frustrated when he cut to the outside and allowed McTavish to take the inside lane, and that allowed him to score, which led to our first loss of the season. Admittedly, it was an overtime loss, but it's still a loss. It's still a freaking loss. I was pissed when that happened, and I'm pissed when this with this one. I am livid with this. And then we get to about like halfway through the third period, where a pretty good shift from the third line. I think it's Frederick on the from the trapezoid. He pushes it up to Geeky, who's wide open up the slot. Which, man, Minnesota, you also got to work on your net front, and just allow. And just blast it right on Fleury. Which, Fleury, fantastic job tonight. You also didn't really need to do much. You just needed to not turn into a form that Pittsburgh is remembers you for. The one that allows those freaking beach balls past you. Ooh. Which, by the way, anyone still making those jokes about Fleury, shut up. Shut up. Fleury's great. Fleury's great, and he proved that tonight. And I'm frustrated that he proved that tonight. Well, I'm not too frustrated that he proved that tonight. I'm always happy when Fleury is good. But I'm just frustrated that the Bruins lost. And especially in the last 5 minutes, into the Ford F-150 Final 5. I gotta admit, Jack did it better. Jack does the transition to the Ford F-150 Final 5 a little bit better. But yeah, we're down 3-2. We need a goal. And we end up, and we pull Olmark with about a minute and a half left. And it takes us until a minute and a half left to pull him, because God forbid we possess the puck properly. And then when we finally have that 6-on-5 opportunity, God forbid we possess the puck properly. Because Minnesota just keeps getting in our way. We can't enter the zone properly. We can't string together passes properly. We can't win faceoffs properly. Admittedly, we don't give up an empty net goal, which, thank fucking Christ, we don't score here. And that's understandable. You're not always going to score on 6-on-5 opportunities. But given how many times we've been scored on 6-on-5 opportunities, I think we're due for one. We're due for one, and we need this to happen. We need to score on 6-on-5 opportunities. I remember the first season I did Into the Den, and we didn't score on a 6-on-5 opportunity until literally the last 30 seconds of Game 7. And we were down 2. You need to be able to channel your comeback a little bit better. You need to be able to channel that comeback better if you're going to want to succeed more. And this team just doesn't have that. This team doesn't have the fight back. And it needs it. It really needs it. So, Lauka, I'm putting this on you. Since you took probably the most lessons from Uncle Nick, you need to deliver a speech. You need... I know. You are young. You're young. It's only your second season in the show. And you still have a little bit to prove yourself. I think you need to. I think honestly, even if you need a little, even if you still might need a little bit of time, you got to deliver a speech. You got to deliver a "we got to remember who we are" speech. Each, one reminiscent of Fliggy's is in the second intermission of the Winter Classic last year. Remember that one? I remember that one. You know what happened after that one? Jake DeBrusk, two goals on a broken fibula to win it. Which, by the way, Jake, you gotta contribute more on offense. Which, speaking of which, Merkulov. Ooh, Georgi Merkulov. I think it's time we start a conversation about bringing him up. 8 goals in his last 7 in Providence. And I have wanted to see him come up here. I've wanted to see him come up. And you know what? Monty, stop calling up Brown. Stop calling up Boqvist. Call up Merk. Come on. What's the worst thing that can happen? Realistically, what is the worst thing that can happen? And what, he doesn't perform as planned, and he he doesn't perform as planned, and we just allow him to, and what he gets his first goal, but it doesn't feel right. Say you end up sending him back down a few games later. Big whoop. Give him a little bit of time. Give him a little bit of time up here. We knew that this season was going to be one where young guys were going to be coming up to the system. We knew that Patra was going to be starting. We knew that Beecher was going to be here. We knew eventually Lorai was going to be here. We also need to see Lysell, and we need to see Merkelov. And maybe eventually we see someone like Busey. That mainly depends on whether or not one of the goalies gets injured. I don't think that's going to happen. I really don't think that's going to happen. But I think that's really it. Give the young guys a chance. Who knows? It might surprise you. That's going to be it for me tonight. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a wonderful holidays to you all. Have a Merry Christmas. Have a Happy Kwanzaa. Have a blessed Yule. Whatever you may celebrate. Spend that time with the people you love. Spend that time with the people you love, and remind the people in your life that you love them. And remind them how, and remind them to what extent. I might be a little bit sentimental and drunk, but still, take that to heart, because given how much awfulness has been circulating in the world as of late, we can't be miserable 24/7. It has to stop at some point. So spend this time with the people that you love. Remind them that you love them, and have a wonderful holiday. I'll see you on the flip side.